Hello.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you. So how are you feeling today?
All right, I guess.
So during our phone conversation that we had a few days ago, I believe you told me that you came here to talk to me for some counseling regarding your parents' relationship and how that affected yours currently. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay, so why don't you start to tell me a little bit about why you're here today?
Okay, well, recently I just got out of a relationship and I just found that in the last two relationships that I have had, they have been kind of negative and had a negative impact on them, and I find personally it's more my own issues than their issues. And I find that my parents do have a big kind of, like, they have a reason for why I have those issues in my life. And I just found that throughout their divorce, I just had a hard time just figuring out who I was and figuring out how I should treat other people.
So it sounds to me like you've been having a little bit of difficulty with your relationships, maybe even in your dating life.
Yeah,
And you believe that it has little to do with your parents' divorce.
correct.
Do you want to start by just telling me a little bit about your parents' divorce?
There was a lot of issues in their marriage. First of all, my mom was an alcoholic, and my dad was very distant with her. He was loving and caring to me and my brother, don't get me wrong, but I just felt like his love was kind of more, it wasn't expressed more nurturely, and it was more like an anger kind of, and like always wanting the best for me and my brother, but not personally. Like, I found that it wasn't just love. Like, I felt like there was a hatred in there as well, and it was hard to communicate with my mom while growing up, and I had a lot of hate towards her as well. And I just found that they always brought their relationship issues to me and my brother when we were really young, and then that became an issue for when I grew up as a teenager, and I had a lot of problems as a teen with drinking and smoking and etc. and suicide.
How did it make you feel at the time that, like you said, that they brought almost their issues to you and your brother? How did that make you feel?
I felt like it was totally inappropriate. Like, those issues should be between two partners. It shouldn't have their children involved. And I felt like with that came a lot of issues that have still haunted me and my brother over the last few years. And I know he has a hard time dealing with the fact that my dad and my mom have different partners now. And it's kind of hard for me to get in a relationship now because I'm always worried that that's what I'm going to hold towards my partner.
And how have you tried coping with specifically your parents' divorce when you were younger?
When I was younger, I dealt with it very differently than I do now. I'm more open now to the fact that they are divorced, and I love them deeply, and we have a great relationship. But I felt when I was younger, I held a lot of hatred towards both of them because my mom was an alcoholic, and my dad did end up cheating on my mom. Well, not specifically cheating, but he was doing online dating while they were still together. And I guess now I don't really have a problem with it, but it still kind of is in the back of my mind some days where I just think about it and I'm like, wow, like, my family was really dysfunctional, and it worries me.
What do you consider to be a dysfunctional family?
Just like different types of abuse. I've never been sexually abused, but I have been mentally and physically abused by both my parents. So I remember one time when my parents were going through a divorce, since I did hold a lot of hatred to them, I was very vocal about how I felt. And I remember the one time my mom grabbed me by my neck and she just held me up on the stairs, and I didn't know what to do. I had an anxiety attack, and I went to child services, and I got a restraining order against her for 2 years, and for a long time we didn't speak, but we're good now. And then with my dad, it was just, I was very distant, and I was more so just with my friends all the time and just doing stuff that a teenager probably shouldn't be doing.
Well, first of all, I want to tell you that I'm sorry that you had to go through that with your parents and with your mom, with all the different types of situations that you had to experience at a very young age. And I'm kind of wondering, what is your relationship more or less like with them now? So what kind of things have you tried more recently ensuring that you won't repeat the same experiences that you had with your previous relationships?
I just try to think positively and think how I have been in the last year and how everyone sees me as, in my characteristic traits, how I am very nice and I am very kind and open and friendly and I have open arms. So I just try to think that when I'm in that situation, I should just retract and think, this isn't me. This isn't how I am. I should be different.
So it sounds like you've had a very long thought process in regards to dating, and you're trying to take it slow kind of thing?
Very slowly. I think sometimes I'm taking it too slowly, but then in times I realize that maybe I am getting angrier. I'm freaking out about something that maybe the time was well needed and that I should take it even more slowly than I have.
So in this session, I think we've basically touched upon, so more or less your parents' history of relationship and how that's affected you currently, and what more about your current relationship history. So I was thinking next session we spend a little bit more time talking about your previous relationship, how that started, how that ended, and how that's affected you today. Would you be comfortable with that, or would you rather speak about something else?
I would be completely comfortable with that.
Okay, and I'm sorry to almost cut you short. I hope you don't feel that way. It's just,
It's okay.
I just want to remind you regarding on what we spoke about on the phone, that anything we talk about today or in any future sessions, that it's kept between us.
Okay.
I take confidentiality very seriously, but I have to remind you that the only case and the only time in which that would have to be broken is if you indicate something regarding trying to harm yourself, others, some sort of abuse, or if, let's say, my supervisor wants to read about what we've been speaking about, and that's only on very few occasions, I don't want you to worry about that, or if for some reason or other it needs to be seized by the court, so like a subpoena or whatever.
Okay.
Are you fine with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to let you know that if in between our sessions, if you choose to cut them down to maybe once a week, or even if you want to extend it to twice a week, in between those sessions, I'm always available on my phone. You can call me or send me an email, and it's always free of charge. So it was very nice to meet you.
Okay, thank you for seeing me.
See you.